It is Wednesday. It's the 18th of December. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Our top stories today. First, anti-government protesters in Ukraine say their president has sold the country out to Russia. Demonstrators are back on the streets in the capital, Kiev. They are furious that President Viktor Yanukovych is okaying a $15 billion bailout by Russia. He joins us now live from Kiev. And Dinah, it seems as though the protesters, while they do have a message for the government is saying they didn't have a choice.
Absolutely. I mean, the backdrop to all of this is the economic situation in this country, which has been coming under increasing pressure.
Thank you, Donna Magna, there live for us from Kiev. The United Nations is extremely concerned about violence in Africa's newest nation, South Sudan, that appears to be between different ethnic groups. The government of South Sudan says up to 500 people have been killed and hundreds more were wounded in fighting in the capital since the weekend. Well, a minister from the South Sudanese government claims the unrest in Juba has ended and things are now back to normal. But in the past few hours, Joseph Contreras, the UN's acting spokesman on South Sudan, told CNN that the crisis is still ongoing.
The government says it has the situation in general.
That was Joseph Contreras, the UN acting spokesman on South Sudan, speaking to CNN earlier. Well, some of the other stories that we're following for you here at CNN News Center. Singapore plans to deport dozens of foreign workers who took part in a riot. Police say trouble broke out earlier this month when a crowd attacked emergency services crews at the scene of a fatal traffic accident. More than 50 Indian and Bangladeshi nationals are to be sent home. NASA has ordered 3 emergency spacewalks over the next week. Astronauts will try to replace a faulty coolant pump on the International Space Station. The problem has forced the crew to shut down some of the station's non-critical equipment. The first spacewalk will be on Saturday. Ronnie Biggs, who became notorious in Britain for his part in a sensational robbery in 1963, died in London on Tuesday at the age of 84. Biggs was sentenced to 30 years in prison for what the media called the Great Train Robbery, but escaped and spent decades on the run. He returned to prison years later and was released on compassionate grounds in 2009. Outrage in New Delhi over the treatment of an Indian diplomat in New York. Devyani Khobragade was arrested and strip-searched after the U.S. charged her with lying on her visa documents and paying her housekeeper well below the minimum wage. Pamela Brown reports.
Watch as police remove the concrete security barriers in front of the U.S. Embassy in New Delhi.
And Pam joins us now live. And Pam, so we understand here that there's this angry reaction from New Delhi over this particular case. The reaction, though, however, I guess we have to be very careful that the reaction should not overshadow the actual story here, which is the charges that this member of the diplomatic community in India living in New York has been charged with a crime. That said, what kind of immunity does she actually have?
Well, that's a really good question. In fact, her lawyer is saying that this shouldn't even be an issue, that she should have diplomatic immunity.
Thank you very much for that, Pam Brown, there live for us here on CNN News Center. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Welcome back. Bars located near U.S. military bases in Seoul are a common hangout for soldiers, but some women who work at these so-called juicy bars, well, they're sometimes forced to offer a lot more than just drinks and end up as sex slaves. Paula Hancock spoke to one victim who lived that nightmare and managed to get out. And we do want to warn you, though, that some of the language in this report is graphic and some of you may find it disturbing.
In a Seoul shelter far from home, Jocelyn Diokez is making jewelry.
Well, South Korea is closely watching North Korea after its leader Kim Jong-un ordered his uncle's execution last week. South Korea's unification minister says the North does not appear close to conducting another nuclear or missile test despite preparations, but he says Seoul should remain on the lookout. Meantime, U.S. Hall of Fame basketball player Dennis Rodman is heading back to North Korea on Thursday. He's taking along a documentary crew for what's being billed as some basketball diplomacy. Anna Korn joins us now live from Seoul with more on that. Anna?
Monita, despite all the political upheaval in North Korea, Dennis Rodman seems undeterred to travel to the hermit.
Indeed. All right, Anna, thank you very much. Anna Corin there live for us from Seoul. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. We're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Now, there has been a lot of controversy over Russia's recent anti-gay laws. U.S. President Barack Obama has said he opposes boycotting the upcoming Winter Games in Sochi. Instead, he's sending Russia a message. The U.S. delegation to the Games will include some openly gay athletes. The White House says tennis legend Billie Jean King will be at the opening ceremonies on February 7th as a member of the delegation. Let's get a check now of weather conditions. It's already feeling very wintry wherever you are. And meanwhile, if you are in Brazil, a lot of rain there. And Mari Ramos at the World Weather Center, there's been quite a few landslides as well.
Yeah, this is an area that has been affected by landslides in the past, unfortunately.
Wow. All right, Mari, just before I let you go there, did you buy a lottery ticket? I'm thinking you did, and you didn't win, or you didn't because you're at work.
I am at work. You know, we've made a pool here, a few of us, and I'm lucky in love. What can I say?
Well, that's a very good answer. That's a very diplomatic answer. I'm impressed. Well, I asked about that because we know that there are at least 2 winning tickets for the Mega Millions lottery, and that was drawn in the United States. Officials say a ticket sold in San Jose, California, had all the winning numbers. The other one was where you are, Mari, in Atlanta, Georgia. Meanwhile, in Canada, the winner of a $40 million jackpot has just come forward. Tom Christ, the man on the right, had been keeping it secret since May. Christ says he will donate every last cent to charity. You are watching CNN News Center. I'm Monita Rajpal at CNN Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us. I'll update you the news headlines in just a few minutes.